didn't dream of quitting my job to travel the world, but my job quit me, so let's go. Welcome to Layoffs to Layovers, Part 1. How I got here. I worked in strategic partnerships and events, convening thousands of people across the country, but the company I worked for lost major funding with the administration change in 2025. I survived the first round of layoffs, and then after weeks of 12-hour days leading up to our biggest event of the year, once it passed, I was caught in round 2. I told myself I was fine. A lot of people were getting laid off. It wasn't personal. So I did what I always do. I bet on myself. I got on TikTok and said I was rebranding. Laid off? No. Full-time content creator. And then I just started doing things for the plot and for my sanity. Taking 6-mile walks every day, editing videos like it was already my job, flying to South Korea for facial treatments, hosting an event in Yosemite with 50 people. I was creating every day, learning new things, and it started to feel like a muscle. And then the clock struck 30, 2 months after the layoff. And suddenly, it was everything at once. The relationship that ended, shifting friendships, no job. I started to feel like I had nothing to show for my 20s. 30 felt like a deadline I had missed. And I know that feeling. I've been there before. After college, it took me over a year to find my first real job. I was living in LA, barely eating, trying to figure out who I was after walking away from law school, the path I had tunnel vision on since 12. I started not to recognize myself, so I moved back to the Bay. And every job and opportunity I've had since then has felt like it was perfectly written just for me, including the one that just ended. Back in DC, I saw a role that could look similar to my 22-year-old self, because when I returned after my birthday, I spent 3 days inside with the blinds closed, and then I had a moment where I was like, you have to get up before it got too dark for too long. I know where this goes. So I got up and got back to walking, friends, and beyond. But winter was on the horizon, and I started to think I cannot be cooped up in this apartment in the snow. And I don't have to, because I'm from California. So I sublet my apartment to a friend, flew home for what I called flying west for winter. I continued looking for jobs, started doing contract work, running the social media for a nonprofit that I'm deeply passionate about, and all while being able to spend time with my family and childhood friends. And before I ever packed a bag, I started to feel like myself again. And then one day it hit me. I can apply to jobs from anywhere. So I looked up flights to Vietnam, found one leaving in 3 days for $300. Got my visa, packed a bag, and just went. Vietnam turned into Guatemala. Guatemala turned into Mexico City. 5 weeks, 3 countries, some of it solo, some of it with my loved ones. I go back to DC in May, so everything you're about to see, the trip, the time at home, the changes, all of it is still happening.